I just wanted to make a quick video to explain, well, just kind of give reasons why I don't like to shake hands or come into contact with people when I go to meetup groups or things like that in public. And the reason being is that I notice a lot of things about myself, and when I come into contact with certain people, I don't know, I just feel drained of energy or something like that. I would reference a Bible story about Jesus, who's developed very highly mentally and spiritually. I'm not saying I'm like that, but he was a person that developed his aura and his levels of his omnipotent, well, not his knowledge of magic and what a human body could do, given the right schooling and tutelage. And one day he was walking, and a sick woman touched his robe. And Jesus immediately said, "Who was it that touched the hem of my robe? Who was it that just touched me?" And we can speculate that he probably felt drained or sapped of energy at that moment. Someone coming into contact with his robe and into his aura, his field of his aura field or whatever you call it, and draining him of energy. And when I first met Braden, my son, I was like a healthy young person. I was ready to be a father, but for some reason, this baby, I don't know. He just, when I'm around him, he drains me of energy. I don't know if that's normal or something like that, but I don't know. It's just something about this baby. I got really tired and lethargic around him. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because he's crying at all hours of the night trying to keep me up. And then last time he visited again, the same thing happened when I was with him and spending time with him at the beach. And I made a physical contact with him a few times. I felt like sapped and drained of energy. I'm not just saying that to get out of being a father or out of parenthood, but that really is truth. Maybe some people aren't meant to father certain children, or for whatever reason. King Arthur, in the Kingdom of Avalon, I don't want to ruin the story for you, but at the end of that story, he is ultimately killed in a fight against one of his illegitimate sons, Mortimer, who kills his father, King Arthur. At the end of that story, I don't know if it's a folk story or if it has historical relevance, but in the Kingdom of Avalon, that's how King Arthur falls. So I don't know. I think like I wasn't meant to be Braden's father. He found a different father in someone else that my ex found a better suitor for her, and I think he did a good job of fathering. Braden's got all his fingers, toes, and he seems like a pretty respectable young man. And I haven't been formally trained in these disciplines or these types of magics or anything like that. I'm just self-taught, and I dabble in these things from time to time. Not purposely, but just through the 10 Commandments that I keep and how strictly I adhere to them. And then some of the places that I visited in Canada that have been deemed as having a paranormal and supernatural occurrences happening to them, and the effect that it's had on me. So like fraternities like that have existed in Vietnam in the past, like similar to the Masons, is a group called the Cao Dai. The Cao Dai, CAO space DAI, and they use imagery much like the Masons use, and they're also a fraternity that were formed to oppose the corruption that they viewed in the Buddhist sects and temples that were sprouting all over Asia, and the corruption that they viewed in governing over people. And when we talk about corruption, usually corruption starts at a young age in a child's mind, and how they're reared and how they're brought up, and the purpose that the adults have for them growing up as a young person or a young man in society. And it'd be far too easy to oppress some young people that are brought up in this community, having absolute control of them from their birth and then being reared as children. But Christians and Catholics have historically taken in children that were unwanted and trained them to a very high degree, educated them to serve their community, and in turn they were very well versed in all types of arts and knowledge, and they made a very positive contribution to the community in the name of God. Sometimes I think like the Catholic Church has fallen to the wayside, that we've lost our way. I remember long ago when Saint Francis had a dream that the church was collapsing. It was falling, and Francis had a dream that he was being called upon to build a church. He's being called upon to build up and restore the foundations of a collapsing and falling church. And I think that's what Pope Francis represents, even though he's not a very strong English speaker or anything like that. But I hope that maybe a pope like him or a pope after him can do something to restore the strength that the Catholic Church once had in the world. Anyways, that's just my thoughts and my preamble to my meetup groups, and before you know me, and why I don't like to shake hands or come into physical contact with people in most cases. Okay, bye for now.